Hello, my name is Talon, and my channel is Old Guy Stuff at Busy Corner Lane. And today, I'd like to do a review on the Leatherman Surge. Now, I know there are lots of reviews about the Leatherman Surge. However, a lot of those reviews are basically an unboxing, where they just open up the tool and they show you the things in it, and they'll basically tell you information that you could get just from reading the package. Okay, there are also a lot of really good reviews out there. So mine is going to be just one of many of what I hope is a good review. Now that being said, I got this tool October 2017, and I'll tell you why in a bit when we're actually looking at the features on this. But I'm just going to go with my cheat sheet here. I'll even put it up there. You guys can read it while I'm talking about it. Okay, well, maybe I gotta move it. Yeah, a little bit better. Okay, so the length with the pliers open. Okay, you unfold the handles, you got the pliers open, is 7 inches, which is 17.8 centimeters. With it closed in the position it's in right now, 4.5 inches, which is 11.4 centimeters. Okay, there's 2 knife blades, one plain, one serrated. That's 3 1/8 inch each, which is 7.9 centimeters. The cutting area on the scissors, 7/8 of an inch, which is 2.2 centimeters. The weight is 12 3/8 ounces, which comes to 351 grams. I paid $70 for this, but at the time it was $105, and it was marked off. It said 1/3 off, so we saved $35 on it. But now if I go online, I just checked this a little while ago, it's $140. The big question for everybody should be, is this tool really going to be worth whatever the cost is for you? My cost was $70. Your cost right now, if you went and bought it, would be around $140. Hopefully you can get some kind of deal. Okay, so let's talk about some things on here. All right. First things first, I'm going to talk about the scissors, because the scissors is why I bought this in the first place. Okay, I needed scissors that could deploy using the left hand and only the left hand. The scissors needed to be able to open using just the left hand and be able to have a spring to let it close and open, or open back up after you close it. Now, this does all of that. I opened this up with my left hand. This did everything I needed it to do. Now, just to give you the quick story as to why I needed this particular feature or this particular function is October 2017, had a real bad accident at work and amputated 2 of my fingers. Luckily, I got those fingers put back on through some fast action, really on my part and the people that were around me, and a surgeon that did really good work. Now, after 8 days in the hospital, they released me. They give me all the bandages and stuff like that to take, and they say I need to change bandages every day, and every 3 days I was supposed to go back and see the doctor, and she's going to look at it and kind of do some evaluation and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm in a position where I'm thinking I need to change these bandages on my own. And the reason for that is my wife could have helped me, but she really does not like to see blood of any kind. I mean, if I nick myself shaving, it kind of really makes her feel really queasy. So seeing my fingers that were just really, it looked like they went through a meat grinder. Okay, because they had to do some stuff to actually regrow the blood vessels. And this was a disgusting looking process. Seriously was. I'm a former Marine. I have seen bodies get blown in half. And no, I look at my hand when this happened, and this still grosses me out. Okay, so take that for what it's worth there. I did not want my wife to have to see this. So we got this. It helped me do all the bandage changes and everything. Awesome. And then of course, I was able to take this and be able to close it, basically doing it like this with one hand. A little awkward, but I was able to do it. I did not have to have any help. So that sold me on this. Well, what happened was we were going through the store. through the hardware store, because we went through a lot of craft stores where they sell scissors and stuff, and thinking we're going to be able to find some left-handed scissors for sure, and we didn't. So we were going through City Mill, and that was the first hardware store we walked through just because it was right there where we were, and they had this on sale. We went online, checked some stuff, information about it and stuff, and said, okay, well, we'll pay $70 and I can change all my own bandages. All right. Now, so I can deploy that left-handed. If I flip it over, I go this way, I can deploy this one left-handed also. This is a coarse file and a diamond file. And I've already replaced this once, okay? You can order them online. They're really easy to get. And to change them out, basically you can take this part. There's a T-shank in here like you would, say, have with a jigsaw. And that just comes right out, okay? Now, right here, it comes with the ability to use a saw, and this comes with it. Okay, so I can put the saw on here. I don't really use the saw, but you can. Okay, that's why I have an extra saw when I bought the replacement file, because that comes with a saw also. So I have an extra saw sitting right there. I just don't use them. Okay, now the reason I don't use them is they're just kind of short. Okay, the saw is, let's see, what did I write down here? I didn't write it down. Let's see, check it out real quick. About 2 3/8 inches of cutting length. Not really a whole lot. Okay, so maybe okay for a very small project. Some things that are, I guess, thin. You don't have to go through a lot of material. However, because you've got this T-shank right there, and I know this is rusty, but I can use any type of jigsaw blade that has that same type of shank. Go ahead and put this in here, close that up, and now I can use this saw. Okay, and this particular saw blade, got it out here, it's going to give me a cutting length of slightly over 4 inches. So that's pretty hefty. That's pretty good. Okay, so now if I flip this back over and we look at the knife blades, okay, there's a plain blade and there's a serrated blade, and there's an easy way to tell which one is which without having to open it up. So you don't have to open it and say, oh, I got the wrong blade out. Okay, the serrated blade actually has this kind of knurly part right here, and if I open this up and it opens, and even though I got a messed up hand because my 2 fingers right here will not actually bend all the way, I can still open this up with one hand. So that's still good to go. Okay. And I'm not going to do a demonstration on cutting with them. I don't use serrated blades often, but this, if I'm having to cut cardboard for some reason, this goes through it like a hot knife through butter. I mean, this is really, really good blade for something like that. Okay, flip it back over. This plain blade, that is stellar also. It will do any sharpness test I think anybody's going to want to put to it. It'll do the paper test, it'll shave, it's the whole 9 yards. I'm just not going to sit here and be cutting on stuff because I don't need to right now. All right, and in case you're wondering about this black tape, my wife had my name engraved on it and she does not want my name to go out online, so we kind of put some tape over that. Okay, so let's open this up and take a look at some stuff. All right, got this opened up. So the open length is set 7 inches. All right, it's pretty hefty right there. And we are going to be looking at the plier part on this, but before we do, let's look at these carbide cutters, okay? I think they're carbide. So if I'm wrong on that, somebody put a comment in there and correct me. These can be changed. So I'm going to do a test with these wire cutters that I will not do with any of my other multi-tools. And the only reason for that is I can change these blades. Okay. Okay. So here's what we're going to cut. I got this, it's a wire coat hanger, But this wire is pretty hefty. It is 1/8 of an inch in diameter. I measured that out with my calipers earlier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to cut through this. Now, I've already messed it up by bending it because I was using this to get something out from behind a refrigerator not too long ago. So it's already messed up. So if these pliers mess this up, oh well, too bad. But I am going to try to cut through this with the pliers. Now, my right hand is my dominant hand, and it's the one that got really bad messed up. So I'm going to try to cut through these. I don't know if I'm going to be successful, but we're going to try this. I'm going to get both hands on this. Seriously good. Okay, do another one on that, and hopefully I don't lose the piece because I don't want my dog to pick it up because he likes to eat anything. So here we go. Well, I shot that one across the room. We pause and go get that bad boy. So yeah, this is the part that shot across the room. Let's take a look at this this wire cutter here. See how we're doing on that. Yeah, well, looks okay to me. I'm not finding an issue with that. So hey, that part's an A+ in my book right there. I would not have done this with any of my other multi-tools. Okay. Now, my other multi-tools might do a good job with this, but I will never know because I'm not going to risk it. You know, I don't want to mess up a tool and then I got a messed up tool. A+ in my book. Okay, so let's look at the actual pliers here. And I got this jig that I use for when I make paracord bracelets and stuff like that. So I made this jig. It's got some sliding parts on it. So this here can slide in and out in that direction. And this part here can slide also. Then I've got these little buckle things that I can connect pieces to stretch the cord across and blah, 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 blah. Okay. So let's take a look at this part. This is 7/16 of an inch for the nut. This will definitely open big enough to get to it. And it's in a good position for it. So if I really want to get this nut like loosened up, so I can go there. Now I'll do it with my fingers and I can slide this as I need to. Let's look at the other side though. With all this stuff that's sitting here, this is not going to get it good. Oh, that's not cool. All right, so what can we do? Check this out. If I open up these pliers, on this part over here, there is this little screwdriver thing. Now, I do not like these type of screwdrivers, these little bitty ones like this. I don't like those. Okay. But I can pull this out, set it down. Leatherman has this bit driver thing. Okay, we paid $15 for that. Kind of like an after purchase. And they do make them now that's ratcheting, and I've seen some great tests and reviews on their ratcheting driver. So we're definitely going to be getting one of those just based on some reviews we saw somebody else do. So we've got this, and what can we do with this? Well, any type of bit that you've got that is a hex bit that's a 1/4 inch, so like the ones that are metric that are 6 millimeters, they're not going to work, but the ones that are a 1/4 inch, they do. So I can put that in here. It's in pretty solid, and I can get a deep socket. So if I got a deep socket, then I'm in business because I can just take this like this, put it over here, and I can turn it. I can leave this like kind of like a T-bar handle or just close it down. But I can turn it until it comes out pretty easy. I can take the multi-tool off of there now. I can just turn that really easy now. And this can slide. And that way I can set my bracelets up or whatever for particular lengths because I drew kind of ruler markings in here. Send that one back down. I'm going to tighten it back up because I don't want to flop it around any. Okay. And we're tight. In fact, I think I've tightened it so much I messed up the bottom of it. Oh, no, earlier I messed up the bottom of this one now. All right, let's set this one aside. Get the screwdriver bit back in here. I don't think we really need to demonstrate the screwdriver bit, but you can get bit kits that have many different types of screwdrivers that are the flat shank ones here. It'll still fit in a hexagonal bit adapter. I could actually put that into here if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Okay, we're going to close this one up. Note, every tool on this locks. Every tool locks. Let's go ahead and look at the can opener here. I'm going to go get a can. Be right back. Had to actually go to another building to get a can. Okay, so I got this can. I've already got that side all the way opened. So we'll work on this side. Now, I'm not going to open the whole can top here, but I'll explain how this particular type of can opener works. It's different than some companies use. I prefer this one. Okay, I prefer this type. And what you basically do is take this curved part here, set it under the lip on the outside of the rim. Now, with other companies, you might feel the need to have to do this at first before you actually go in. This one, you just slide right in, and it's hooked on good. And you take this part and set it up against the inside here. That's it. And you go from the right side. And you just pivot up and down, up and down, up and down. And I generally try to do this without moving the tool, as in this way. I usually try to do this just by tool goes up and down and can goes rotational. And I'm not going to spend time going through the whole thing, but this works really, really good. Okay, now, this can opener part is also a bottle opener. Okay, they say this is the cap lifter bottle opener thing. I have used it only one time, and it worked great when I used it. I just don't have any bottles here that need to be opened. Okay, now this little V shape here, supposed to be for a wire stripper, and be honest with you, I have not actually used that, so I can't give you my opinion on that. Okay, down, open up the other side. Alrighty, I've got some screwdriver stuff here. Now, I've got all three of these open, 2 screwdrivers, and I got an awl. All right. Now, these are not locked, and they're not going to lock if I open up more than one. Okay. So, let me close some stuff down here. Go with the big one first. Okay, so this big screwdriver, is this supposed to be the common or standard screwdriver? This particular length is 1 inch. So if I had to put this into a recessed hole, which I do from time to time, if I had to put this into a recessed hole, I could go 1 inch deep with it. Okay, I don't have anything here that actually opens with a flathead screwdriver, but I have in the past, and it does work well. Okay, close this up. Here's another one, okay, which is the smaller one. And of course, like I said, I don't have anything here that needs to use a small flathead screwdriver. The length right here, though, is actually, yeah, it's about 1 inch also. I'm at kind of an angle. I can't get the angle just right. Yep, 1 inch. So I can go 1 inch deep with this one also. Okay, close that down. One of my favorite things on here that I wish every multi-tool had. The awl. Okay, and this one got a sewing eye, right? The awl and this one got a sewing eye. Now, if you're going to sew with this, you're going to be making some kind of big holes in your material. And I do a lot of leather working, but I do not want to make holes this big into my leather. I do not want to do that, okay? So I do not use this for sewing, but if I'm going to sew with this, okay, I'm going to use the same technique you use with the Speedy Stitcher, and people can check that online on how to use the Speedy Stitcher, but the technique is actually really easy to do. Okay, now this particular awl though has this little ridged curved area here, which is for drilling. Okay, it's for drilling. Now I could drill something like plastic. I'm going to put the plastic up here real quick. I got this bottle cap. Let me see if I zoom in some. And the reason I keep bottle caps like this is for a few reasons. Let me show you one. Okay, I make funnels from bottle tops that can screw into the cap. And then this can screw into another bottle, and I can pour my drink mix or whatever into it and then pour the water into it. And there's absolutely no leaking. And the hole is big enough that everything goes through really fast, unlike some funnels where the hole's kind of small, okay? And in this case, the hole's big, so it goes through kind of fast. So that's why I keep bottle caps, because I do things like that. And if I need to have a washer, then I can have a washer. And what I do is I don't spin the tool. I put the tool in place here, and I spin the bottle cap. That's how I do this. That's how I get it started. That's how I get my hole in there. So now I've got this hole in the bottle cap. It's like that. Not very big, but now when I take this, I can get more depth into it. And I can spin it around and get a decent hole for, say, running a bolt through it or something like that, depending on the size I want, as to how big I make it when I'm using this. So the awl is actually really good for a lot of things. I've done a lot of drilling of wood with this, and I've drilled through my walking stick to use it to be able to modify it to be like a bow drill type thing, to where I can drill with it or use it for the making fire type scenario. But the awl is really, really good for that. Okay, so let me just add something else onto this, and I'm going to close the awl. Everything locks, like I said before. Okay. And that is, we were talking about drilling a hole, right? Okay, let's open this up. And we're going to close that. Take out that little screwdriver bit. Put this back in. All right. 1/4-inch hex. And as we mentioned earlier, with the deep socket, anything with a 1/4-inch hex shaft, work on that. So if I need to drill holes, that's got me hooked up right there. That's going to work really good. I have done it before, and I will do it again probably before too long, because I don't always carry my drill with me, but I do carry multi-tools, and I do carry bits of all kinds. So very indispensable if you got to be making some holes. Very good to have. Okay, something else I'm going to add on this with their bit driver, okay, is that just about any company's bit kits and any 1/4-inch hexagonal bit is going to fit in here. So there's lots of options. This opens up lots of opportunities, and I personally believe that this right here should be on every Leatherman tool. Okay? On every Leatherman tool. Maybe not the micro and the style PS, the real small ones, but any of the mid-size to larger, I think this should be on it. Okay, close that. We'll get ready to close it. Okay, we have some rulers on here. Kind of zoom this in. And in order to really use this at like the full length, you have to do this. And this is kind of inconvenient. Yes, it gives you the extra length, but it is also inconvenient. Okay? Now, On this part, we have SAE, and on this side over here, we have metric. Now, there are some things I like about this, okay? I like the fact that if I've got to get measurements, sorry about the shaking there. If I've got to get measurements, I can set this up on a piece of wood, right up against the edge, and I can make my marks with my pencil. I like that. Okay, so I can just get those marks made where I need them. It doesn't matter if I'm doing metric or if I'm doing SAE. So I like that. Okay. I also like the fact that if I'm going to the hardware store and sometimes those nuts and bolts and the bends are a little mix match, then this can help me get measurements on those. Let me close it down some. It'll help me get some measurements on those, so that I make sure I'm getting all the right size stuff. Now, if I'm buying a box of 100 of something, it's going to say on the box the length or the diameter. But if I'm picking them out of a bin, sometimes those get mixed matched. So this can help me out. And I have used that in the store. What I don't like on this one is you have to open it up to get to the ruler. Okay, that's a little picky. You know, on some companies, their measurements are on the outside. You don't have to open it. But on this particular one, it's on the inside, so you have to open it. All right, so Leatherman Surge. My basic information here. I'll zoom in a little bit on that. Okay, the cost. When I bought it, it was $105. I got it at a 1/3 off, which made $70. And yes, I feel like I got a stellar deal on this. I'd give this multi-tool a 10 out of 10 with no reservations, other than the fact that it is kind of heavy at, 12 3/8 ounces, but, I don't wear it on my belt. I throw it in my backpack, so there's a difference. Okay, so I'll live with that. $70, got a stellar deal on that. If I had to pay $105, I still feel like it's a good multi-tool for $105. And we're going up now an extra $35. They doubled the price from what I paid for it. So I think it's a good deal. That's what everybody has to balance out for themselves. I do think that's a good deal, because I'm never going to have to pay $140. Okay? I've already got this. Leatherman's got a good warranty system going from what I understand. I've never had to use it, but if I break something, I'm going to contact Leatherman and they will probably come through and get me a replacement. They'll probably hook me up. I'm really confident about that. Okay. So what you got to ask yourself though, is with all these things this tool can do, and the fact that they're, if you pay the extra to get like the bit driver or the ratcheting bit driver they've got now, and all the extra things you can do because of that, that's worth $140 plus the cost of that. So I'm going to leave it with this, but I give this a 10 out of 10. This is a really, really excellent multi-tool. My name is Talon. This is old guy stuff at Busy Corner Lane. We were talking about uses I have for the Leatherman Surge and how good some of the features are on this tool. Have a great, happy, peaceful, wonderful day, and goodbye.